Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Miss Bess here, back with another live stream, Thursday night fun night with Ranger. That's your cue.
Hi.
And he brought a special guest.
I did. It's not Finn, because Finn sucks.
Well, I can't disagree. Sorry, Finn.
He's amazing, but he's so antisocial. I don't know what to do
Yeah,
anymore,
right?
miss. I
I
mean,
know.
I try to raise him right. I try to make him eat his vegetables.
We both
He
did.
still will not. He will not come on after like 9:30. He's just such an old man, and he's 10 years younger than me. It's unbelievable.
I know. So
And I brought
anyway,
along someone that I just found out to here recently, and really liked his videos, and I thought he really knows his shit and knows what he's talking about, and that's Mr. Bettz.
hello,
What's
sir.
up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess we don't know for sure, but we're assuming it's a pleasure. How about that? Okay. So
This is the test run. You have no idea.
This is
Yeah.
the test run. This is the test run. Okay, so in keeping with my promise last week, we are going to do a minute with Mist, is what I'm calling the early segment of the show every week. So this week we are going to be talking about buffs and debuffs. So buffs are pretty obvious. They're the positive status effects that different characters give or spread to their allies. There are a handful of characters who also inflict buffs on their enemies. Thrawn comes to mind in that capacity. And then debuffs obviously are the negative status effects that are afflicted upon the enemy team. Buffs are generally positive in nature. One character in specific that tends to spread a lot of buffs is Bastila Shan. Bastila Shan is a Jedi who is very powerful, obviously, in spreading buffs. The main buffs that she provides to her allies are offense, defense, speed, accuracy, and crit chance up. These effects are all varying in nature. Offense specifically adds 50% offense. Defense adds 50% defense. Speed, I believe, adds 25%, if I'm not mistaken. I should probably go into a battle or something and actually test that out. And then you have crit chance adds 25% crit chance. So let's see. Do I have a battle I can do? Of course I don't. Right here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into a battle real quick. This is a dark side, so we're going to have to use light side characters. That's what. Oh, never mind. It's light side. Dark side. We want to use light side. We want to use a light side. I always get these all mixed up. You know, it's like, oh, we want to fight dark side with light side, of course. But you end up actually, yeah, okay. Can you tell how long it's been since I've actually done one of these battles? Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Let's go and do one of the hardest ones out here. Let's do the one for Scion. This is a good one. This is one that usually trips up a lot of people. Hey, look at that. I can actually borrow a Bastila. So, we are going to, let's take out or Ahsoka there. Okay, so there are also unique buffs. We all know about those. So here we go. Bonus protection. That is a status effect that Bastila spreads to her allies. Taunt is probably the most basic of bonus or positive status effects that is understood across the RPG gaming community. I mean, if you've played World of Warcraft or an MMORPG, you know what taunt does. There are also unique taunts that are not really necessarily a buff, but are status effects that can't be dispelled. And one such buff is the guard buff that is given to his allies by Chewbacca. Each of these buffs usually has a very unique icon, is not dispellable. So rather than just putting a lock on it, they decided to turn it blue. So, and these are buffs that cannot be stolen, dispelled, copied, or spread by enemies or allies. So, here is a demonstration of the granting all of those handy-dandy buffs. So, by long pressing or long clicking or whatever method you're playing the game, on the buffs across an ally or the debuffs across an enemy's screen, you can actually read what these buffs do. So speed is 25%, crit chance is 25%, offense, defense are both 50, and accuracy is plus 15. Legendary Battle Meditation is another buff that Basilisk spreads uniquely. I know it's longer than a minute, I know, but want to kind of touch on a few things.
I see you skipped Bimasu's line there. I'm sure you'll get to that.
Oh, I know. Bimasu's always a pain in my rear. So that's kind of just a brief overview of the kinds of buffs, and then obviously Retribution. Anytime an ally, rather counterattack, I guess, is what it's called, not Retribution. Counterattack whenever an enemy attacks this target and it is not inflicted with daze or stun, the ally with counterattack will counterattack the enemy. So that's kind of the long short of buffs. I guess we can kind of go over debuffs next week since we're already over our minute with Mist. I should call it minutes with Mist, but I know I'm a dirty, filthy liar, and we all know where liars go.
Straight to hell.
Yeah. So stealth is another fun buff. Stealth is pretty self-explanatory. It hides allies from enemy attacks. There are a handful of characters who can dispel. Obviously, if stealth is removed, then it's no longer useful. But the nice thing about stealth is that you are able to attack an enemy that can counterattack or has the counterattack buff without fear of being counterattacked. So that's the biggest benefit of having stealth on your characters. So that about sums up the buffs side of the house. We can talk about debuffs probably next week. And holy moly, Deadpool Kyle, way to start out the stream, my good friend. $10 donation, extremely humbled. Holy cow. My week has been, I guess you could say tumultuous. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's been a week, that is for sure. Let's see. Revan obviously came. He's the biggest piece of good or bad news, depending on what side of the aisle you're sitting on. And from my perspective, the Jedi are evil, as young Anakin Skywalker.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? There's too many.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
This is pod racing.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Minute with Mist is all done and said for. Said and done for? Said and done? I'm got a dyslexia here. Anyway, so the biggest elephant in the room right now is obviously Revan. It's gonna be a week from today. Next Thursday, in keeping with their tradition of releasing events on Thursdays. Yay for me getting to mess around with those events live on my stream on the first day. I wish I had an elephant. Actually, I don't. I really don't. No, elephant would be not fun.
Well, what are your thoughts, Mist? I mean, everybody and their mom knows my thoughts.
Right. Actually, I didn't listen to your rant.
How dare you, sir? I know, how dare you?
I know. I'm so offensive. But yes, I can only assume how that rant went. But my opinion is, I'm not happy. I'm obviously not happy about the way they're going about this. I'm not overly pissed. I guess you could say, everybody, is probably familiar with the 5 stages of grief. And I kind of experienced all 5 phases or stages of grief yesterday. Not yesterday, well, a little bit of yesterday, but when they first told us about by us, I mean the Game Changers, which wasn't very long before the community found out it was I kind of experienced those 5 stages of grief in rapid succession. It was, stage 1, denial, was very much they're not serious, right? Like, this is a joke. Surely they're not. No, Revan can't be a 7-star unlock. Then anger, obviously, followed very closely behind that with, they're serious and this is bullshit. Like, there's no way this is legit. There's no way that they're really doing this. That this is absolutely asinine. And then bargaining, the whole, well, if they're going to do this, then surely they're going to offer double drops, or they're going to find some way to alleviate some of the pain, some of the anger, because the community is going to flip their proverbial scheisse at this, and it's not going to be good. And then the depression set in shortly after we were told, no, yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen, is Revan is a hero's legendary event, not a legendary, but a hero's journey style event where you have to have the 5 named characters at 7 stars to get your 7-star Revan. And then it was pretty much, acceptance was pretty much by the end of the night. Before I went to sleep that night, I was kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm not getting Revan. Because I've done very, very well in that I haven't spent any money since last September on the game. So I am pretty proud of that fact. And you can tell where I'm at as soon as Bastila and Jolie became farmable. I think we talked about this on RSG stream and then the next night on my stream about how to go about approaching the massive number of characters there are to farm. And our agreed upon method, our strategy that we both agreed was the best strategy and that the strategy that we would be using would be to forego some of the less important, just mundane characters that are out there to farm and focus on the newer characters, the Solo and Old Republic characters that were introduced to the game. And so in doing that, I am close to a 5-star Bastila, close to a 5-star Jolie. My Zalbar obviously is a little bit further behind because Zalbar did not become farmable until I think it was a couple weeks after Bastila and Jolie were introduced to the game. So, obviously he's a little bit further behind than the other 2, but he's still not super far behind. I'm at 11 of 65 towards 5 stars. You can tell that the farming is still very slow with, only having only doing the one regular hard node, not the ship node. That's nice. 4 out of 7. That's actually a pretty good drop rate. But when it comes to mission and T3, obviously that's where a lot of people are going to get tripped up. And that's because both of them are found on the Cantina table. So was I extremely mad when I first found out that this was how they were going to go about introducing Revan? Of course I was. Mostly because I expected it to be at least a little bit more reasonable. Maybe a little bit more time between mission and T3, 2 Cantina farms, back to back, being released farmable 2 or 3 weeks ago before this event was announced. So people will have a grand total of 3 to 4 weeks of farming before the event comes out. And I mean, you see that mission is on a 16 energy node. That's not an easy farm by any means. And then you have T3, obviously he's a little bit easier on a 12 energy node, but still using the same energy that you have to use to get mission. So it is a very, very crunch-tastic farm, and it is not a friendly farm in any way, shape, or form, no definition of the word. So am I mad now? No, because I think I'm sure some of you have probably watched Arnold's video that he just put out where he, gave his 2 cents, gave his thoughts, and also gave the results of the poll that he ran on his channel, where 75% of players were unhappy with the way that this event is rolling out. There was one person whose comments he read who was actually happy with the way that this rolled out, and the justification for being happy with the way that it's rolled out were this. They're glad that if the character is going to be rolled out, that the requirements are this steep, because it's going to be so exclusive the first time around that you shouldn't have to worry about everybody and their mom in your arena shard at the top of your arena flooding the arena with Revan. So if Revan turns out to be this ultimate arena killer, then obviously the more people that get him, it's going to greatly disrupt the arena for folks who do not get Revan. So if you're accustomed to taking top 20, top 10 in your arena shard with the characters you have, but you're not a massive mega whale who whaled out on all 5 of these characters when they first came out, but are not planning on spending any money to obtain Revan this time around, then obviously if Revan turns out to be this behemoth who absolutely wrecks the meta, then you could potentially be looking at 3 to 4 months, depending on how long it is before Revan comes back, where you are unable to break it back into the top 20, top 10, or even top 5 of your arena because of Revan. So that, in that light, I can see this being less of a bad thing, and I guess bring a little bit more positivity to it, but it still sucks. At its base roots, it still sucks. So that's kind of the way I feel in a nutshell. Help, I'm in a nutshell. So.
Well, Bettz had a really, really amazing video. If you guys have not checked it out, you really need to. Bettz, I'd like you to share your thoughts on this, because you articulated it extremely well and made some really, really incredible good points. If you don't mind, give us a little bit of an insight of what you were seeing in your video and stuff. I think that would be awesome sauce.
Yeah, not at all, man. And appreciate the commentary. You know, what I would say is they're testing, you know, and being in business, and, you know, I get it. They're testing how hot can they make it before we freak out. You know, they turned up the pressure with JTR, making the vets extremely pay to play, 2 16 energy nodes with 4 weeks to farm. But the other 3 characters in the event were, you know, pretty free to play friendly. Most people had them. And now, you know, you're looking at a 5 out of 5 team that's completely free, you know, completely pay to play, which is unprecedented. You know, in the Commander Luke event, pretty much everybody was free to play. R2 was the only newer character. All the others had been in the game since launch pretty much. You know, so they're really testing the waters and seeing how far they could take it before it breaks the community, right? And we all freak out. And I'm not sure that the forum posts and, you know, the Reddit comments are going to be enough. I think they're going to see this through and want to test the behavior, right? And see, do we, you know, even with all our complaining, do we actually buy them? Do we spend the money? Does it work out for them monetarily? And that's going to be, you know, the results are going to speak for how they, you know, handle these events in the future. But the thing that bothers me is, you know, if you're a top-end player and you're getting 900 crystals a day in arena or something like that, and you put all of those crystals towards farming the second these characters come out, which I have done, you know, so I'm getting 24 attempts per hard node, you know, hundreds and hundreds of Cantina energy, putting it towards that. And even with all that effort, which is 1,000 crystals a day, which is, you know, like $10 a day, that's not enough. You know, I'm not even going to be close. I'm going to be like a character and a half shy. You know, so to me, they've turned the pressure up too high, and we are freaking out. And I think a lot of people aren't going to buy this character. It's just too much. You know, so I get why they're doing it. They want to test the limits of their pay-to-play model. So I'm not mad at them for doing that. But they need to realize this is the breaking point, and it's not going to pay off in the end.
No, and to echo your sentiment that this is, I believe this is a test bed for how much they can get away with, and how much they can charge people, or how much panic farming they can induce and get away with it. So if you are upset about the way that this is going to happen, or the way this is happening, my advice to you is to let your wallet, let your bank account do the talking. And I've already done the math. If you are starting from 50 shards, if you are starting from 50 shards today, meaning that you have not even farmed any of these characters, and you literally took only the shards that you got from the marquee event, and you have not touched these characters yet. If you start farming today without doing any refreshes on any nodes, so only doing the 8 battles a day, and you don't even have to do the ship nodes on Jolie, Bastila, and Zalbar, you can farm them on an average drop rate of 2.5 shards a day, which is 30%. So a 30% drop rate is 2.5, roughly, I think it's like 2.66 shards or 2.33 or 2.44 or whatever it is. But roughly 2.5 shards a day. So averaging out 2.5 shards a day, it will only take you 112 days to farm Bastila, Jolie, and Zalbar to 7 stars from 3 stars. So that's 2.5 months. This event is bound to come back no sooner than 3 months. That would be the earliest that I see this event coming back is 3 months, because they're not going to make this such a premium pay-to-play character and bring the event back in less than 3 months. That's just not going to happen. So if you are a ultra casual like me, and you know that you're not going to get Revan this time around, don't worry about it. Don't panic farm. Don't buy into the hype and just pretend like it doesn't happen. Pretend like you're in a dream world. Just keep farming these characters casually. You will unlock all of them to 7 stars. You will get them to 7 stars before the event comes back again. I promise. You just have to stay diligent and stay on top of it. The only characters I would probably recommend doing at least 1 refresh on is 1 Cantina refresh a day, because that is going to help you get a few extra shards a mission, especially with that 16 energy a node, a pop. You know, you're going to have to do at least 1, maybe 2 refreshes a day if you want to on Cantina, just to make sure that you get those characters to 7 stars before it comes back again. And if anything else, there are so many other Cantina farms. It doesn't hurt to speed up the mission and T3 farm just a little bit more so than the hard node farms. But I would highly recommend that you, and if you want to focus on just one, either Bastila, Jolie, or Zalbar from ship energy as well, to speed up one of them a little bit more than the other, and then switch over to the next one. So do Bastila's, do both of her battles, or hard nodes, her ship and her regular hard node. And then once you, because you don't get ship energy for Squat, it's 11 minutes or 12 minutes of point
like
of energy.
Cantina.
Yeah, it's Cantina energy essentially. So you get so much, you get less, you get half of what you get from regular energy. So if you're crunched and you don't want to do any ship energy refreshes, don't. Just do Bastila's hard nodes, and once you finish Bastila to 7, because obviously farming from 2 nodes, you're going to finish her a little bit sooner, then switch over to Jolie and finish up Jolie using both of his hard nodes, using the ship and the regular, and then switch over to Zalbar. So there are ways that you can get these characters without panic farming and be perfectly 100% ready to go before the next time it comes around. That is my recommendation.
That's a great recommendation, but I cannot let CG get away with this, because they have their head up their ass so deep that they don't think their shit doesn't smell. I mean, you and Bettz are very articulate about how you say it, but I think what CG's been doing lately is just absolutely criminal. I mean, absolutely criminal. So first they overwhelm us with all these marquees, right? And we don't know which way to go, right? Then we're left, especially as a free to play, right? I mean, if you're a whale and you buy everything, this is just not applicable, right?
Right.
Which is totally fine, right? But a lot of us dolphin level down, right? That'll invest a little bit of money, right? Or left wondering, okay, what is what is the deal? So
Right.
first we have the marquee events, right? We have all these solo characters. The first thing I didn't even get into this yesterday, but I'm really pissed off about this. Solo characters as a fart right now are just basically were set up for the smuggling event. So we took as a free to play or people that spend just a little bit of money, right? We're thinking, okay, maybe solo's the first thing that's going to come a legendary, right? We don't know, so we have to kind of speculate and make the best educated guess we can. And we were telling people, okay, let's start with the solo tunes, wait till the KOTOR tunes come and see what's happening, right? Well, we get smuggling event, kind of a letdown, right? Because I was all in on the solo characters. Then we get the KOTOR coming free to play, and we're like, okay, maybe we need to start working on KOTOR. But at the same time that they released the KOTOR characters free to play, they dropped Chewbacca. Now, most of us had the characters. It was also a resource thing. A lot of us didn't have the characters all the way up to year 12. You know, we kind of used some of our energy and resources, crystals, things of that nature toward Chewbacca because it was a hard event. Not that it wasn't accessible, right?
Right.
It was a hard event. Right. Especially if if you were 6-star on Bosk or something, then you use some of your crystals to use that to try to get caught up. Looking at what Doc Ariok says. Doc Ariok, you ain't even going to drink, so you can't, unless you're going to be doing shots of whiskey with me, brother, you can't make that game. I'll break your rules. So we get the Chewbacca event, people sink into that. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was cool. I liked the Chewie event. It was ridiculously hard. I have 9 hours of me trying everything under the sun until a couple of our viewers were like, oh, I can't watch this anymore, and helped me finish my boss of 7 stars and got it, right? But I did sink a lot of crystals and things of that nature. I had already started the KOTOR farm, right? And we talked about this already. So you've got this the overwhelm us with Marquee. We're trying to figure out who to farm, right? We're putting resources in. We don't know what the main event's going to be for all this. Then they drop a Chewbacca event, a legendary, and they're going right from a legendary to a hero that are not even related to one another. And the fact that KOTOR just became free to play. If they want to go with a pay-to-play platform, go right ahead. It is your game. No one's saying that that's wrong. No, it's not good enough, Doc Ariok. Whiskey or you're a wuss. But it's so blatantly a money grab. Not because it's a hero's journey and it's short. That's part of it. The other thing is the character itself, Revan. They're like, okay, let's use Revan, a character everybody wants, but we'll break it up so we can keep getting more and more Revans, right? And it's not like any of the Hans and the Chewbaccas, those were Marquee or events and other things. It's different than having all those characters. This is Revan, right? So they've came up with this Jedi Revan, which they didn't have any material for. They had to kind of create, right?
Right.
Which really pisses me off because it's not true to the character, but it's their game. They can do whatever they want, right? And so the fact that they're like, with the other past 2 heroes' journeys, the characters needed, you felt like you had an opportunity, right? Maybe you did get it, maybe you didn't, right?
Right.
With Thrawn, even though they dropped the ball horribly on that by giving us 2 days and then double drops, and then on characters nobody was farming because this was pre-Phoenix Fix, right?
Yeah, I think.
And I said, right, so I'm pretty. We researched it, so I just made Doc Ariok drink. I did it on purpose. So they dropped these characters. It was different. We were pissed off, but it was different. Then we got BB-8, JTR. We had Luke. But you really couldn't complain about it, right? Because these were characters that we'd had an opportunity to farm, and if you hadn't farmed them, that was on you, right?
Right.
So you can't really do anything. This is something totally different. This is to me, it feels like a straight FU to the fan base. We only care about people that will pay us money, which is really weird because if they're going after Wales with this, Wales already bought these characters. and if they haven't, they'll get them if they want it, right?
Right.
The rest of the community, which is like 95% down from the Dolphin on down the line, are sitting there going, okay, if you don't even want us to have an opportunity to get this, then why should we even bother?
Right. Right. No, I agree. I mean,
why should we care?
Like you said, whales, the mega whales who have to have every character at 7 stars already have these characters at 7 stars. So obviously, this event is going to reward them for their massive investment, because that's roughly $1,500. I mean, if we average a marquee character at $300 a pop, then yes, that's about $1,500 that those mega whales have invested in the game. Which, hey, I appreciate their investment, because it means that I can play this game for free. which means that, I mean, and that's where I kind of am like, you know, it's okay, because. And this is where that piece of me is able to justify that this is okay. The way it's being rolled out, yeah, it just really does kind of suck, because the way it's different from the Thrawn event is, you could get all 6 Phoenix from 6 different locations. You had Guild Store, Cantina Store, Arena Store, Galactic War Store, and one Cantina node. Or actually, two Cantina nodes, Fleet Store. I mean, it was literally everywhere in the game these characters were available. Yeah. You could farm Ezra from Fleet shipments and the Cantina node. Hera was available from her Cantina node, and I believe one other location, wasn't she? Or was she just the Cantina node? Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, it doesn't matter, because you could simultaneously farm all 6 of those characters. Sabine had a hard node and was available in the Galactic or your guild shipments. So you could simultaneously farm all 6 Phoenix characters at the same time. The problem with the way that these characters are being introduced is it's strictly hard nodes. And then you have 2 characters on the Cantina table and nowhere else. It's okay. So Enterprise 7, thank you. Hera was just Cantina. So
okay, thank you.
That's where this differs from Thrawn, and that's where more people are frustrated with this than with Thrawn. While Thrawn, some players were not farming Phoenix when they became farmable, because they were like, oh, well, surely they won't require these Phoenix characters who just became farmable for a legendary event so soon. Like, they didn't really think that was possible. But the main takeaway here is that, like you said, it's just, you know, the Dolphins are looking at this going, well, there's no way to Dolphin this event at all. Because it's either go big or go home, and I think a lot of people are going to go home on this.
Yeah, you know what's sad is, I know you've spent money in this game. I've spent money in this game.
Yeah.
Hundreds, if not, I've spent probably a good couple thousand on the game from the beginning. I haven't spent a lot lately, other than, you know, what people have donated for certain events and stuff, right? But, you know, I got to the point where I'm like, you know, I'm 3.7 million GP plus. I've got all these characters, and I have no shot in hell of getting Revan. And it's like, so my investment up to this point is not enough for CG. And CG is, what did you say they were best? Like the #1 mobile app game there?
It fluctuates between 1 and 2. Yeah,
Jesus.
It's crazy. It's already the most profitable, and they keep, you know, just pushing the bar. And yeah, the point you guys have made is absolutely right. There used to be a chance. Like, if you guessed right and you went all in on farming right when they went free to play and all the prior events, and you were all in and you had at least a little bit of arena and fleet income to do it, you were able to get these characters. You know, maybe spend like $100 or less. They took away that chance this time, and they're taking a gamble, because they're alienating that just below whale, the Dolphin and really high-end free-to-play community. And, you know, traditionally where we were used to getting these characters, we're not going to this time.
Right. So,
I mean, free-to-play is not going to care, right?
No.
I think
exactly.
Free-to-play doesn't care. Kraken's already at it. It's that 15 to 20% in the middle that's like, you know, I've done a lot for this game. I've spent a lot. I've pushed a lot, you know? And they'd say that unless I become a Kraken or have to wait for a character that is one of the most beloved characters, Team Money found a poll that the most requested character, most favorite dark side character is Revan.
Right.
You know,
so that and we'll talk. We'll build off of that in a little bit. But yeah, keep going.
Well, I mean, it's a slap in the face for a lot of people that have supported the game. I understand CG is a company business and it has to make money.
Right. As I've said, I believe I posted it in a couple tweets and a few comments on Discord that you know, this game is a cash cow for EA. Like, I would be willing to bet that this is one of EA's single highest grossing revenue wise single title. I'm not talking about a franchise, so I know that the Battlefront. Or not Battlefront, but Battlefield, well, Battlefront 2 probably, between Battlefront, Battlefield, and all those other games, I know that they've made millions. That's not I'm not disputing that, but from any one title, I mean, think about it. How long does a console game usually live, right? The average lifespan of a console game is probably about 6 months to a year, maybe 18 months if it has a huge fan base, right? I mean, look at Call of Duty. They wouldn't be releasing a new Call of Duty every year if Call of Duty had any sense of longevity, right? People get burned out and they want the next cool flashy thing. This game has been going for 3 years and running strong. It has a steady development cycle. Literally, you guys are able to do a weekly Wednesday night stream and have new stuff to talk about because they're adding new stuff to the game on a weekly basis. This game has an incredible level of support. So kudos to Capital Games for having a title in a market where people's attention span is literally that of a goldfish, and being able to keep a mobile game title this successful. So this is the cash cow for EA, and that cow demands sacrifice. That's what this is. This is the sacrifice demanded by the golden calf that is SWGoH. So, and like you said, I mean, as a free to play, it's not really my place to say, well, I'm pissed off because I ain't gonna get it. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, if you aren't putting any money in the game, then you probably don't deserve, I mean, to put it bluntly, you don't deserve every new character that comes to the game, especially a character like Revan. Now, obviously, being a massive KOTOR fan, I mean, KOTOR was one of the very first Star Wars games I ever played. I loved it. I played the bejesus out of it. I think I played through that game 3, 4, 5 times. Easy. And so, yeah, Revan, as soon as I started this game, literally one of the very first packs I bought was the droid pack with HK-47 because I was like, holy crap, HK-47 is in the game? And at that moment, I was like, holy shit, if HK-47 is in this game, that means Revan is coming. At least at some point, Revan has got to show up in this game. And that moment is finally here, 3 years later. And unfortunately, I just am not going to be able... I'm just not going to be able to get it. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to get Revan first time around. And that's okay with me. I'm okay with that. Because I don't have to stress. Like with JTR, I was doing like 3 Cantina refreshes a day. I was trying my butt off I was like, I can maybe make this. Maybe I can get JTR. Maybe I can do it.
Yeah, but then, you had that sense of, I can possibly do this, right? You're willing to make some of that investment, spend some of your crystals, maybe a little bit of money, right? Like Bettz said, you felt like you had an opportunity to get in there and get dirty and do what you need to do. This is something totally different. This is basically, as I said last night, a big F you to the fans. And really, the only way you can speak is to not buy anything for this. The only I mean, the only way you can say anything to CG, they only listen to. I mean, the rant I did last night, it's going to go on deaf ears. They don't care. You know, it's just a more of for the community to be that voice on there. The fact that the only option you have is to go on to the forums or Reddit and state your case gives you a chance to voice your opinion, whether they listen or not. And they do listen. I mean, I have to give them credit where credit's due. They do seem to listen and have feedback. They may not agree with you, but hey, that's life, right? It's nothing you can do about it. The only two things you can speak with really that will get their attention, honestly, get their attention is your wallet, and to go on the App Store and give it a bad rating, because that's the only thing when it's affecting their bottom line. That is the only way that you can have some kind of impact. And it's sad to say, but it's true. You know, we can yell and scream and bitch and cuss and say whatever we want. It doesn't really matter. And the only way you're going to change behavior is if you hit them where it hurts. You know, all I can do is ask people not to invest in this Revan character. That's it. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and I'm not going to be mad, and I'm going to be very, very, very clear about this. If you pay to get Revan, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
No, and that's not what we're trying to say.
Anybody, because people went after Warrior, and that really pisses me off. Warrior decided that he's going to get it, and then they called him a Sheila CG. That really pisses me off.
No, and that's bullshit.
Not the right way. We don't go after each other in the community.
No,
we don't. But if you're mad at the game, the developers in the game, go for it. But we don't do that.
No, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's the other thing is, you know, if you have people in your players in your guild who want to go after Revan, you know, honestly, what you should be saying to those people who are going after Revan and have made the conscious decision to go after Revan, you should be telling them thank you. No, seriously, you should be telling them thank you, because they are the ones who are going to be, you know, putting Revan in a god dang platoon for you in territory battles, because you know that's going to happen, right? You know,
so broken.
But you know, you should be telling them thank you, because yeah, the people who are irritated and have made the conscious decision that this is dumb and this is stupid and I don't like this, don't spend money. Okay, I implore you to speak with your wallet.
With your wallet.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Speak with your wallet. But do not attack.
Do that.
Exactly. Do not attack the players who are going after Revan, because you know what? If somebody and this is the other thing, I you know, Arnold made a really good point. If you can do it without putting your family into a financial crisis, or you can do it responsibly, then go right ahead. But if you're taking away, you know, your kids' Christmas presents, or you're not going to be able to feed your family this week because you want Revan, that's dumb. It's irresponsible, and I just don't. Like, seriously. You know, a piece of digital content in a game that's only going to be exclusive to those people who spend on it for 3 to 4 months, maybe 6 at the most, is dumb. It's irresponsible, and you know, we should all be adults here. I mean, even if you're not 18, you know, be smart with your money. I mean, if you can afford it, I mean, if you're 16 and you live at home and
if you got the
and you
cash,
can afford it, and you have a job and you can afford it, by all means,
I can
go
ask
out.
You, I can
get
ask you
yourself
not to do it. Yeah, all I can do is ask you not to do it. But if you do it, kudos to you.
Right.
You know? So
and that's a
I'm
big
begging
thing.
people not to do it. Please don't do it. But that's their right.
Exactly.
So let's
exactly.
get that there.
Yes.
But I think that CG has really. I think this is the last straw. You know, they've made
it probably is for a lot of people.
Really, you know, someone's like, well, people will forget about this in a few months, and no, I ain't gonna let them.
Yeah,
I am not gonna let them forget about this. You know, I will be that voice that is that pain in the ass person by their side, saying, no, you showed your colors. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you can. I don't care if I have to. You know, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, if I get Revan 4 to 6 months from now, great. But it's the principle of the thing, and it's, you know, perception is reality. How you knew the community was going to be outraged, and it ain't just me. And a lot of people are really upset about it. Maybe not as angry as I am, but they're really upset when I'm watching Cubs and Mobile was on with us last night, and I could just tell he was disappointed. And it was like, damn, you got your guy. You cannot get Revan disappointed. That's got to tell you something. These are, I mean, and Cubs the same way. You know, I can't get it. I'm so you CG, they keep doing this. They screwed up with the Thrawn event. They screwed up when mods first came out. There's just been too many times where they've dropped the ball trying to basically try to push the envelope, and it's backfired. And I thought they had grown up and gotten past this, but it's not. You know, I'm a business economics marketing major, right? And you know, and I've written papers about this. You know, the most successful gaming company is World of Warcraft Blizzard.
Oh God, yes.
Why is that?
Because they I mean, they are so dang. They do it right, man. How many people have how many, and by people I mean game designers, how many games have come out attempting to dethrone World of Warcraft? How many? Dozens. Like, there have been so many games that have come out trying to dethrone World of Warcraft, and they just can't, because Blizzard has done it right. They utilize microtransactions with absolutely impressive results. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I paid to do a faction change, to do a name change. Well, not necessarily a name change, but a faction change, to do server transfers, freaking pets. I mean, it just, you know, it's just absolutely astounding at how successful World of Warcraft is. And, I mean, it's just absolutely bonkers.
13 years.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, they've lost members, but it's still, what, 5 million people playing that game?
Oh, yeah.
From 13 million? I mean, at one point, their height, I think, was...
I was one.
The Lich King. I was there, too. Like, you know, you kind of get burned out. I mean, but a lot of the hardcore, and I was pretty hardcore, but not like that. I mean, once I beat the Lich King, I'm like, I've done what I want. I wanted to go try something else. But that had nothing to do with how... like the game itself.
Right.
Plus, the Republic was coming out at that time, and I wanted to invest more time in that. So there you go. Here's the thing that strikes me in the point that I want to make. If they had waited till December to do this and had given us more time to farm, how much different reaction this would have been.
Oh, I think it probably would have been. I think it would have been absolutely astounding.
Because even if people were at like 6 stars and stuff like that, you really couldn't complain. It's like they kind of gave you a window to farm. Now, if you didn't, it is what it is. But at least they gave you the time since the characters came out to feel like, you had hope. And, you know, so who's giving this video thumbs down? Shame on you people.
I know. Oh, well.
I don't care. The people, I love when people give thumbs down, because you know what you do? You still show that you viewed the video, and it helps Mist.
Yeah,
get outnumbered by the likes.
Yeah, I don't worry my pretty little face about
I don't
that kind of stuff. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm doing this for the people who are actually here watching the feed and actually liking the video.
Sure.
I'm not going to let somebody who dislikes a video dictate how I run my channel. So, but yeah, I mean, this is all. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we can complain about it all day, but at the end of the day, what really matters is that if you're not in a position to get him this time around, don't freak out about it. Don't feed into the hype.
Don't feed into the money,
because you're gonna get him eventually. So put aside that instant gratification. That instant gratification for just a second, and just rest assured that that, oh god dang, I just got destroyed. That you're gonna get Revan. You're gonna get Revan eventually. It's just a matter of when, and that's really what it is. As I believe it was Panamax, Thane Kyrell made a good point. You know, sorry, Turbo Fraser. Sorry, I'm getting names all mixed up over here. Turbo Fraser pointed out, if you also don't buy into the hype, you're gonna have more time to farm gear. And there's been so many comments. I mean, I love how many people are commenting on this, because it just shows how polarizing this event really is, and how much it really gets people worked up. So I mean, I really want to jump into chat. I'm going back here to like almost the beginning of the stream to give some shout outs. I got Revanator, Vito, Onto, Bimasu, Sanely Red, 420 Swagnamite. I'm going to butcher these. Bettz, obviously, you're here. You're actually in the call. You're being very quiet, but you're here.
Oh, we're going to make him talk.
I'm still here.
After this, Bettz, you're taking over, bro.
Rose Taco,
Yeah,
Deadpool
good.
Kyle, obviously, with his incredibly generous donations. Kid, 311 Finity.
That's Finn.
Yeah, that's Finn. I'm sorry, Finn. I'm going to blame you for everything. I almost read Decepticons. I almost read that as Despacito. I've been on Reddit too much. I'm sorry. Durgun, Vito, Onto. If I double up on this, I'm sorry. But Vincius Reyes. Slash Varhodes. JV420.
Slash Van Rhodes.
Okay, Slash Van Rhodes. Obviously, Bimasu. Bimasu. Go do your 600.
Yeah.
Harry Tasker, Hellenix. Takedown Games is in here. So, I mean, we've got so many people out here. So many just friendly faces that I see every week. So, I mean, thank you incredibly from the bottom of my heart to all of you who are regulars every week. I love that you come out, and I love that you guys support my channel, and I love interacting with you guys. So Thursdays are literally my favorite night of the week. Tits, thanks for coming out, supporting the channel. I mean, it's just there are so many people watching right now, and so many people I'm sure that either share my opinions or are probably completely polar opposite of my opinions. But the fact that I think that we can all agree that the event is, there's no changing it, and we just kind of have to accept it for what it is. So, I mean, as good old Maurice pointed out, that there are 165 or more other characters, and it's in that perspective, the fact that you're not going to get one character for however long should really be pretty insignificant. I mean, look at Rex. Rex was an Erodium character that was introduced to the game, was pay to play for... I mean, how long was Rex exclusive to people who paid for him?
It's like a year.
It was at least 8 months, 8 to 9 months at the very minimum, probably closer to a year. So you were 100% accurate in that statement that he was probably that. And so, I mean, everybody needs to just kind of take a step back, cool down, and realize that even that Revan is not going to be exclusive as long as he could be. There very, very little likelihood that Revan is going to be exclusive for longer than I would say 3, 4, 6 months at the most. I mean, would you agree with that assessment?
We don't know. At this point, I can't get into CG's noggin and figure out what the hell they're thinking. I really can't anymore. They've been doing stuff differently. So you would think that they would bring it back in 3 months, but then again, they may have a different plan where, hey, here's Jedi Luke. Ah!
Yeah, and that would, oh man, that would be the icing on the cake. They think people are raging now.
Oh my God.
So
I want to get some Bettz in here some more, because he's new to the whole thing, so I know he's being respectful. So it said Ranger's being very calm tonight. It's not my channel, so I can't be dropping mother effers and F-bombs. So it ain't my channel to be doing that, and I ain't getting missed in trouble. You know? If you want that kind of content, come to the channel. I'll be more than glad to do it anytime I feel CG needs their head bonked. Dumbasses. But Bettz, I mean, anything that you want to share, because you had some really just incredible points in your video. Anything that you think that, if you talked about the marquee and all this other stuff, I mean, you had made some really, really valid points. If you want to add anything to the conversation that we haven't hit on yet.
Yeah, you know, for me, you know, just the type of player I am. You know, I'm a very, very competitive player. I'm obsessed with being one in arena, obsessed with winning territory wars, even though the difference in rewards is negligible. You know, so I'm always looking for that competitive edge. And it's those types of people that we've really felt the changes in how they monetize the game recently. You know, so if you think about the
talk about that. That was some really good stuff you brought up about how they've changed their monetization over the last, a year and a half?
Yeah, it's really only been like 6 months. You know, some of the biggest stuff that they changed, and one of the biggest ones that I couldn't believe there wasn't more outrage over, I mean, it really took me back, was removing characters from any of the store farms. You know, it used to be, and you pointed out Phoenix, that's a great example. I mean, they used to spread them out. You get this currency that you could build up in the tens of thousands and save for characters. You know, it used to be a lot easier to farm, and now it's all nodes, 100%.
And
which is just
crazy. They claim that it's so that players have a source of currency for the shard store, but let's be real. They could introduce one character to a store at a time and put spacing between how often and how frequently they put characters in those stores and rotate the stores so as to maintain that image of allowing players to continue to farm from other stores for shard store currency.
That's right. You know, and I used to, when I first got this game, I was really stupid and did a lot of chromium packs. That was a genius move on my part. But, you know, there used to be characters who were designated 4 stars, 3 stars, you know, who, when you pulled them in a chromium, you'd get 80 shards, 50 shards. That's gone now, too. They made all marquees start at 2 stars. So if you're trying to, you know, to chromium pack your way to getting a character or a set of characters, you're only getting 25 at a time. You know, and that's a lot. That's a much steeper hill to climb. And then the biggest one, and I have a mega whale in my arena shard, and he's a prime example of somebody who fell into this trap. The monetization of mods. When they changed your entire list, they changed all the colors, and you have the OCD whale who wants them all to be gold. And now they introduced the crystal pack with all the mod materials. You know, he is biting, and you know, it's costing a lot of money, because it's just insane how many materials you need to, you know, go from green to 6E. And now with the weekly shipments, the very heavy crystal price, you know. So it's, you know, it's mods, it's how you farm characters, it's how they've, you know, affected the packs and the chromiums. You know, it's kind of all over the game. They're pushing monetization, and that's fine. I mean, that's how this game keeps getting new content. You know, that's how they pay their developers. I'm all for that, but you know, they're pushing us in multiple areas, and it's getting so intense that a lot of the free to players can't keep up anymore. And even the Dolphins, you know, we can't keep up anymore. The mega whales it's amazing, thousands and thousands of dollars going into a single account, and what it does to their roster, it's just it's getting pretty out of hand.
Yeah, no, and you make some really good points. That a lot of people seem to have, you know, either forgotten or ignored a lot of the ways that they've changed the way that things work. It's you know, they make a lot of, you know, sly changes to the way that the game is monetized, and I mean it does feed a little bit on people's OCD, like you said, with mods specifically. But, I mean, it really could be so much worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy. I love this game.
No, yeah.
I'm so addicted to it, and there's a reason for that. It's a fantastic game, and it's, you know, it does justice to a lot of the characters that I care about. Maybe not Mace Windu, but you know, there's quite a few who, like, when you use it, it feels good, like the Triumvirate. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm getting tired of the Triumvirate, but at first it was so fun to, you know, acquire and play with those characters, especially with Nihilus and Scion. They were just so unique, and they keep upping the ante with the kits and making it more and more interesting and fun. And it's a fantastic game, and I get it that, you know, you need to fuel that by paying developers. I'm all for that model. It just feels like it's, you know, we're kind of getting it attacked from all angles, and this Revan event was pushing it just a little too far, and, you know, upset some people. But I get it. You know, I almost wish I was a more casual player, because there's so much to work on. My poor range trooper is sitting at gear 1, you know, and he's such a great character, and I can't work on him because I'm always chasing that next meta, and he's not part of it.
Right.
You know, so I almost envy the casual player in that regard. But, you know, so I don't want to take away from how amazing this game is. I'm not quitting. There's no way. You know, I'm going to continue to see the game. It's intense.
Well, here's the other thing, that they've painted themselves into a corner, and this is why I think they have their head up their ass. Let's say Revan's amazing, and all the whales get him and kick the shit out of people in the arena. That's going to cause major blowback. However, on the backside, if he sucks and people make this huge investment and he's not as powerful as as people want him to be, right? Then they're going to lose out as well. So you've created this dynamic of people that get him, they will either raffle stomp people or they are going to be very disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doing it.
I hope we get that tomorrow, right? I've been waiting, refreshing the forums. Where's that kit, you know?
Yeah, I know, right?
You know? So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what transpires from that. But I'm just like, dumb. Who does this? If you'd wait till December and more people had an opportunity, there you go. It just, and overall, just the optics of it would have been better. More people would have been satisfied. Even people that didn't have it could have spent money. We could have probably made more money doing it this way. And if the character was good or bad, it would lessen the blow one way or the other, because either more people have them, or, you know, the people that do have them, you know, it's not as big a deal as it will be now, because it's going to be so exclusive.
Right. Yeah, I think it's another good point. Like, if he does absolutely wreck arenas, it's going to cause a lot more blowback, I think, because it's just, you know, players want to feel like they have a chance, and my only concern, really, when it boils down to it, is if they make Revan so powerful that he absolutely destroys Atreya, because Atreya, I mean, arguably is like, she is the creme de la creme, like, penultimate character in the game right now. So, you know, if they introduce a character that absolutely destroys Atreya, I mean, I feel like that is pretty dangerous, because players need to feel like they've got a chance. And holy cow, I just beat this event, or this last battle in ships. I'm happy with that. A full mark. Is that a full mark? No, that's just Mark 2. Back to salvage. Yeah. All right. Hells yeah. All right. Sorry to interrupt the conversation, but I finally beat 5F on the ship battle table. I guess gearing up my
2 Zetas, man.
Yeah. And then what do I get here? Oh, 6 TIE advanced shards and 40 crystals. Okay, cool. Yeah, but at any rate, I mean, players want to feel like they've got a chance. And, you know, if Revan completely disrupts the Atreya meta and destroys her both on offense and on defense, and players with Atreya are no longer capable of climbing in the arenas past the mega whales who have Revan, that's going to cause a lot more issues. So my only hope is that Revan is balanced. I don't want him to be so crazy mega OP that he just is like an insta win. You know what I mean? I don't want him to be able to auto every arena squad that's out there. I want him to be able to beat them, yes. But at the end of the day, I want him to. I love the fact that there's a rock paper scissors in arena right now, and that Atreya can be beat, but Atreya can be beat, and can also beat other arena squads. That's what makes this game so much fun, is the balance. And as soon as that balance leaves, that's when I think a lot of players are going to get really irritated.
And if the opposite spectrum, if he sucks,
oh god, yes, then you're going to have the people who spend all the money.
People that just spend all the money, and so it's a no-win scenario.
It's a very fine line that they have to walk with Revan, and I do not envy the studio in that regard. So I think that we have sufficiently beat that one to a horse, or that dead horse to a pulp. God, Jesus, I know, I'm just so.
That old chestnut.
I know. Let's crack that dirty walnut right open. So Jedi Knight Revan obviously is the Revan that we're getting, and you alluded to the fact that they're probably going to try and monetize Revan as much as they feasibly can, and one way that they're likely to do that is by making Revan in multiple visages. So you'll probably have at least Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan. So there's a very good possibility that the next hero's journey type event is going to be light side Revan turning into Darth Revan.
Right.
The
and then
fall.
After that, the regular Revan turn it into Revan. Revan.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh, I guarantee it, brother. Come on now.
I mean, I know we've got 5 Han Solos in the game, but I don't think we're gonna quite get to 5 Revans in the game.
No, we'll get to 3. It's gonna be light side Revan, the fall to dark side, where he carries a red lightsaber. We're gonna do, even though that's ridiculous. And then they're gonna go Revan, the actual character that is neither light nor dark. The quote that they gave, I read that out last night as part of the actual quote. It's from Darth Malak.
Yes.
It's like, it's a whole lot more than what they advertise, and I hate that. Just, hero, conqueror, villain, blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's a lot more to the quote than just that. And then they highlight, hero. So this is their game. They want to come up with a Jedi Revan. They can go right ahead. But, don't try to convince me that this is true and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, because I'll burn your ass to the stake on that. So, Revan, if it was funny, when T was trying to come up with a picture of Jedi Revan, I was looking at the Revan, like, that's regular Revan with the blue lightsaber. It's like, well, I couldn't find one. I'm like, well, that's because it doesn't exist.
Oh my god.
So
It's fair. I mean, at the very least we'll see Darth Revan. That's going to happen. Oh yeah. It's just and it's probably very likely Force Ghost Revan Reborn. Yeah. So
he does become a Force Ghost and stuff. I mean,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're talking about redeemed Revan for the neither light nor dark Revan, right?
Well, so if you follow the story, he was Jedi Knight, fought in the Mandalorian Wars, but he already started turning before then. After he wins the Mandalorian Wars, he and Alec,
they find the Star Forge.
They go after Vitiate.
Oh, okay. God, it's been so long since I need to play the damn game.
Turns them to the dark side, thinking that he's turned them to the dark side. Revan's got something more because he's going along with the plan because he thinks that he's like, okay, and he comes back and they say that the new Lords of the Sith, and because he's such a hero, a lot of people follow him. They discover the Star Forge, they start using it. Then Malak betrays Revan, the Strike Force that finds him. They wipe his mind, the Jedi Council, and then next week you go through the whole Koto story, and then they defeat Malak, and then Revan then goes after Vitiate again, and there's a whole another saga with that. I mean, the story of arc of Revan is crazy. It's
incredible. It's probably one of the best stories in Star Wars.
Because he goes after Vitiate, him, Scourge, and the Jedi Exile, and I can't think of her name. They work together to try to assassinate Vitiate. It doesn't work out. Revan becomes a part of Vitiate's mind, which works against Vitiate because he holds back for holds back the Emperor from attacking. When he does attack, then he kind of tricks him into signing the peace accord and a whole bunch of stuff. Then he finally breaks free, and then first attempt is he tries to go and start all the create more HK-47s, but you stop him from doing that. And then he just he takes the Revanites that he was at first very against, even though he started the Revan Chist.
Right, the Revan Chist.
He didn't realize that when he came back to the Republic that it had become, in the Empire and other parts, that he had become like this cult god to these people. And so he uses them to make his final move to bring Vitiate back into the fold to try to destroy him. And that's when his light side had broken away from his dark side. It was his dark side energies that was really doing all this stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's really fascinating.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, there's actually a really good story, outline of the story of Revan on YouTube that I usually point people to. That's like a 25-minute long video where
I think I know. Yeah, it breaks it all down for you and does
animated.
Yeah.
It's animated, and it starts literally from Revan's day as a Padawan in the Jedi Order, all the way to the point where he is, where he comes back to life after being dead for 200 years. So it's like it literally covers his entire life.
People forget too that he married Bastila.
Mm-hmm.
They had a child together.
They had several kids, didn't they?
I think he had one, because he left before her. She was, I think it was a she, and it was before she was born.
Mm-hmm.
He only had the one. So Bimachu donated $1.99. He said,
he did. Don't forget to do my 600. Well, I've maxed out my regular energy refreshes. Well, I don't know if I have it. Well, I'm sure I have. Yep, 100. I'm on the 100 crystals, so that means yes. So, yeah, I've done my 600. You're welcome, Bimasu.
Yeah, Bimasu, get off his stuff.
Let's see.
Being all up in his stuff.
It's all up in my chili, bro.
So let's talk about what we are working on. I am working on the KOTOR characters, but I did take Chewbacca to Gear 12, so he's done.
Congrats.
I did Night Sister Zombie to 10, and then realized I don't really want to take her to 12, but I have no choice. And now I'm working on Wampa Imperial Probe Droid to Gear 12 as well, and then I've got my other farms for the KOTOR characters. And I like to throw a Nest in there as well.
Oh, yes. I am finishing Nest. The way I see it, Nest is probably one of the best characters to come to the game in a very, 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 very long time. So,
what do you think of Nest there, Bettz?
Oh, Nest is critical. And I waited until she was free to play to get her to 7-star. I had, gotten her like 5. I bought 1 pack and a few crystals, but she completely changes the arena team if she goes first. Taking away 20% turn to meet her, the days, expose on basic. It's like a Commander Luke Skywalker and all kinds of other characters kind of all combined in one.
Stuns.
She stuns. So dynamic, just a fantastic character who is, from a PvP perspective, absolutely dominant.
Yeah, who are you working on, Bettz, right now? KOTOR, but I mean anything else that gear-wise or?
Yeah, no, just like you, I got Chewbacca to 12. It was so fun to play with him against Freya and just watch her melt. Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. That's like an automatic win in territory war, the CLS team with Chewbacca. I mean, it could beat absolutely anything. It's ridiculous. And did get Night Sister Zombie up to 12. You have to. I mean, in all aspects, PvP, the raid, doesn't matter. 12 is better. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's where we're at. RIP, Paper Zombie. And, I'm all in on KOTOR. I'm going to, unfortunately, not take your recommendation. I'm going all in. I'm going to make sure I get Revan because I'm so obsessed with that game. And it'll probably cost me like $100 or something like that because I'm pretty close. And the last Range Trooper is my next one after that. He is just a game changer for the troopers and makes them much more versatile in territory wars. So he'll be my next project.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
I don't think I've even touched my Range Trooper. I've been doing so much other crap. I think I'd started him, and then I was like, let me see where. Yeah, he's 3 stars.
Yeah, so I started my range trooper as well, but then I had to derail my stormtrooper farm because of the solo and Old Republic characters. So he unfortunately met the chopping block when it came down to deciding which characters I was going to use my energy on. So
I do have a 7-star young Han and Kira and other solo characters. I'm so disappointed in myself.
At least you could solo the hat with Han, right? much more consistent than Wampa, I promise.
I hear the grumblings.
It's just. I did go in phase 3 with Chewbacca and Han and that team. I didn't even try. I got like almost 2 million. I was like,
holy cow. God. That's insane.
Wow.
It's because Chewbacca with that team with Han, I mean, it's just, I went in there, who did I go in there? Death Trooper, Chewbacca and Han, CLS, and I put Chirrut in there. And then I buffed Han, and then it was like, wee! I was like, oh my God! Just AOA with Chewie removed all the buffs of the lightsabers killed one. I was like, wee! Death Mark! Wee! It's like, this is ridiculous.
He's crazy good. I really enjoy Chewbacca. For a while, I was actually running... so just to mess around a little bit, I put trail lead with Scion and Nihilus. So I ran the Triumvirate with Thrawn and Chewbacca, and that was just a lot of fun.
Like,
it was just a lot of fun. I probably could have put Enfys in there in place of Thrawn and had just as much fun. So
that's right.
Enfys is not going to get derailed. I'm not going to stop farming Enfys just so I can farm some Old Republic characters, because I'm not going to get Revan, so I'm not going to derail any of my current farming endeavors. I'm not going to double farm anybody. I'm not going to do anything crazy. So Enfys is going to get taken to 7 stars. You've seen that she's already almost 7 stars, so it's probably only a matter of weeks before she is 7 stars. Probably less than that. I mean, I've got, I think, 25 shards left, so, I mean, 10 days, hopefully 2 weeks, maybe tops, to get her to 7 stars. When that happens, I will be one happy camper. If I happen to get an influx of crystals, I might actually go ahead and just buy like a 16 or 8 shard pack here from the shipment. Just because, I mean, Memphis Nest is so much fun. And I need to get her to gear 12 so that I can move my Thrawn mods over to Enfys, because I've got some 6E mods on Thrawn. So to get the most bang out of my Enfys, obviously I need her at gear 12 so that I can easily swap her into my arena team on defense. So
there you go.
That's where my mind is at right now. So
yeah, it's funny, in my arena, the battle right now off screen is who can get the fastest Enfys, because if she goes first, you control the battle.
Right.
And I got, plus 144 set and was the best, and then somebody got a 145, and then somebody got a 147. It's absolutely hilarious what mod slicing has done to us. It's getting, your competition is 1 speed of difference. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy when that 1 speed is what is dictating victor or loser. I mean, it's it's crazy. Cray. Let's see.
Right. You haven't got any questions up in that chat? I've been looking.
No, I know.
It's porgs because of Finn's monkey stupid ass. Bettz, I just want to warn you. Finn's retarded about porgs.
Oh, I've gathered that from your streams. Yeah.
I just want to.
It's also Finn's fault I've been so quiet. It's
oh, well,
yeah,
I mean,
blame
you
Finn.
have the hashtag I blame Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you stub your toe or you forget to wash your armpits, just say I blame Finn.
It makes sense.
It's science. That's science. He's a dirty mongoloid from the land of Afghanistan.
Oh man.
I know. It's the Revan news. It sucked the life out of us this week. I mean,
yeah.
It really has. It's depressing. I think we're in that place. Like, damn it.
So what do you guys think is going to happen? Because, you know, December is always a huge month for them. And is it November's their...
November is the anniversary, yeah. So right after Thanksgiving is going to be their anniversary.
Yes. So what do you think they're going to do in the next 2 months? What's coming?
Well, we're only in the freaking first month, first 2 weeks of this quarter.
Oh my God.
So one can only speculate what is coming down the pipes if Revan is already off the table. I mean, there's gonna be they've got to be planning something for the solo characters. There's no way they cannot be planning something. So when it comes to the solo characters, I mean, literally the only thing that I can think of that they could possibly follow up Revan with is a new Darth Maul. I mean, I know that, you know, Darth Maul only had a very small cameo in Solo. Spoiler alert. But I think
you gave it away.
I think that's literally one of the only things that they can introduce to this game.
Oh, you give them so little credit. Jedi Luke. Here it comes, baby.
No. I'm talking about using the solo.
Freaking Christmas.
I'm talking about using the solo characters. They're not going to use solo characters for Jedi Luke.
No, it's going to be something else. They're not going to use the solo characters for anything.
You don't think so?
Nope. It's for the smuggling event.
Well, if that's the case, I'm good with that because I can already beat the top tier of the smuggling event because Chewbacca. It's 6 stars. 6-star Chewbacca is all you need.
He's when they're Chewbacca and Enfys, you win.
Oh yeah, literally Chewbacca, Enfys, and OG Han Solo.
Yeah, it does have a Kira lead, 5-star. She does what she does.
I don't even use a Kira lead.
Put a Han in there and just watch the good times roll.
I just had Power Man 5000 pop into my head.
You know, the other thing they might introduce too, I was just thinking about this.
What's up?
What was the new character we saw in the Bounty Hunter or the Chewbacca event?
Oh, the other Han Solo. Best spin Han Solo.
Best Han Solo.
Best spin Han Solo, yeah.
How much you want to bet in the next 2 or 3 months that turd is going to show up?
Nah, I don't think we'll see a 6th Han Solo.
Oh, come on, brother.
I don't think so, man.
If they'll do 4, they'll do 5. If they'll do 5...
No, see, what I think we're more likely to see is what one other thing that was in the Chewbacca event, the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the Millennium Falcon. I definitely think the OG Millennium Falcon is going to show up. They mentioned the OG Millennium Falcon when talking about Chewbacca. They put the OG Millennium Falcon in the cutscene for OG Chewbacca's legendary event. It's the only Millennium Falcon that's not in the stinking game.
They're gonna get both. I'm telling you right now, brother. They're gonna drop that Millennium Falcon, and they're gonna drop Empire Strikes Back Han Solo.
Maybe
never taught me the odds.
I'd rather see Carbonite on, man, the ultimate tank. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
As long as it's the Peter Griffin version. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm sorry. That was been in there for a long time. Oh God, I'm sorry.
And then, what about a TB map? I mean, I feel like
I thought Geonosis was going to be
That's true. You know, you got Geonosis is coming with Battlefront, like you just said. That's a very good possibility. We don't have a new game mode, and it's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, yeah, the Sith Raid came out earlier this year, but like I said, you know, goldfish attention span. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new game mode come out. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a new Territory Battles map. It could be anything, really. I mean, there could be a new type of like a guild gauntlet style event. So imagine a galactic war with entire guild's participation.
Oh God.
I mean, it's completely spitballing here, completely off the top of my head here, pulling stuff out of my rear, but I mean, I can't really think of what else they could introduce to the game. I mean, any clever thoughts on either of you guys?
We're bored. We can't keep this crap anymore.
All the creative energy is gone because of Revan. I'm sorry.
Do you think so?
No, they did. I mean, they mentioned in a post that they wanted to release characters with new types of events, and I think, you know, speaking of Revan, it'll probably be new, and we didn't really cover this because we were so worried about the release cadence, but, you know, showing the Terran Tadic, right, you're probably going to fight that, where traditionally you fight the legendary character to get it. So that's kind of neat that they're changing events up, and maybe we'll continue to see more of that, like variants of things we have that are more interesting and different.
Well, too bad 95% of the community will not be able to see that event, except on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is true.
Live vicariously through the whales.
I know. We'll have to probably live vicariously through Warrior. You know what I mean? I would hope that he live streams his event.
Oh God.
Let's hope he does that, because I might have to let Warrior take my time slot. Because I do want to see the event played all the way through. I mean, maybe I'll just have to get permission from CG to use my test account and stream that.
I was going to ask about that. It's a game changer question. So when the event comes out, you just get the character in the account, or do you have to play the event to get the character in the test account?
They usually give us the shards for the character. So
okay.
Because we have to usually do the kit reveal and all that stuff, and so we have to collect the gameplay for the kit reveal, and that usually means that we got to have the character available to us. Ooh, sandbox mode. Deadpool Kyle coming in clutch. Sandbox mode. That is definitely going to be something that players are going to want.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get that.
But I don't think that sandbox mode is. I don't think sandbox mode is going to really come in. This is why. Why, as awesome as it would be,
It'd be amazing.
hear me out. You can't monetize it.
Nope.
And, you know, I hate to break it down to the base level, but it's pretty much it's the dirty, nasty truth of it all. Is if it can't be monetized, it probably ain't coming to the game. Unfortunately. We asked for a sandbox mode, and therefore we won't get it. It's probably not far from the truth. You know, it's. But I do hope that we do get a new game mode, and I hope that the new game mode, whatever that happens to be, is awesome. And I hope it's not so incredibly monetized that people want to pull their hair out and gouge out their eyeballs, because that will not make anybody happy. Yes. We got revenue. Oh, so funny. I love the creativity of the viewers. We got revenue. Oh man. So
yeah, one of the funniest things I saw was several of the memes collected, and it just said the memes make the pain go away. It's so true.
It is. It's so true. I had a good number of people share some memes on my channel, my Discord. God dang, I couldn't think of it. It's
the thingy where people talk to me thingy.
Yeah, the Revan, the force cash drain.
Revan.
Oh man, so many good memes. So many good memes. A picture of so you guys remember the scene from Infinity War where Thanos has the flashback after snapping his fingers, and you see young Gamora, and she asks him, you know,
Did
did he do it? And it says, do you have your old Republic tunes ready? And he says yes. And then she says, what did it cost? And he says, everything.
I sure did.
It's so good. It's so good. So good.
Yeah. They were throwing all those in our Discord. It's like, oh my god.
That's so funny.
First male born child. Virgin's blood. Hair of the goat. An old priest and a young priest.
Oh my goodness.
Questions in there. There's not. People just hanging out, having a good old time watching you do territory.
Territory battles. You know, and I honestly wouldn't mind another territory battles map because I love territory battles. It is one of my favorite game modes. I know a lot of people hate it. I know a lot of people think that it's monotonous
some
and
like
boring.
Territory battles, some like territory wars. You know, some like both, some like neither. So.
Yep. And I like it mostly because it's kind of like the new Galactic War, if that makes any sense. A lot of people liked Galactic War because you could theory craft, and you could try new teams and try new squads and try different makeups and try different things and see if it worked. Territory battles is kind of like that, except for one thing, and that one thing is obviously the star requirement of characters. You can't really throw in a 3-star character later on in the game or later on in the progression of the phases and really use it against those higher tiered enemies. And then also you can't combine light and dark side. That's the only thing that really kind of bothers me and really kind of sucks. And honestly, I really wish that I could do these battles after this territory is 3 stars, because I can't do my other ship battle. Not like I'd have any ships available for it, but I don't have that option available to me. So other than that, neutral tag. I mean, do you guys think that the neutral tag has anything to do with what we could see down the road with Revan?
Christ, at this point, I just don't care. Sal had a good question. Could this be the first event that the community could come together and get CG to delay this event a few weeks?
I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it.
I'm telling you guys, the only way CG is going to listen to you is if you do not invest in this character and you start rating them bad on the app. If it doesn't affect their bottom line, they'll listen to you in the community, but it's not going to affect their decision making, because if they show that they're making a profit from what they're doing, then that justifies them moving forward with the decision they make. The only way you can get someone in business to change their mentality is to affect the bottom line.
Holy cow.
It's all about money. It's all about the Benjamins.
It's a test. They're going to see it through. They're not going to stop now. They want to see how this plays out, to your point, on the actual balance sheet, and they'll decide from there.
Yeah.
I have not checked my guild's GP in a while. We are at 187,915,000. Holy cow!
Right, we're right on your ass in MC3. I'm surprised we haven't faced each other in territory wars.
We haven't?
No.
Where are you guys at? What's your guild's name?
MC3. So there's Mighty Chlorian's the first one. That's MC1.
Okay.
MC2 should be the next one. So if you scroll down a little bit, you should see MC, the next one. And then the one after that, I think 181, 182 million should be us. Okay, number 20 was second Mighty Chlorians.
So are you 82 Mighty Chlorians?
Yeah, that's us.
The 181, 448?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Who's the Bosk right there with 180? I got a bunch of people in my shard who are in Who's the Bosk? My arena shard. If I go to my ranks here. Yeah, I got, I believe, let's see. Now I've got a bunch of people here. Yeah, see, so many people are using titles now that you don't see people's guilds so much. But Adros Fin who's the boss there. Yeah, a bunch of people. Yeah, there's another one. Never know who's the boss. Got a few people on my in my shard who were with Who's the Boss. So Oh, and I guess, squad arenas. I mean, like I said, I mean, I think it's pretty diverse right now. I got Emperor Palpatine, Bastila, Traya, and Bastila right there in the top 5. So, I mean,
see it last with mine is different. Mine is Traya and Palpatine with
yep.
Traya.
Got a Palpatine,
I think
Traya,
there's
Bastila.
no one's using Bastila. Well, one person using Bastila, but they only use it for offense. I see them climbing with it, but they will not stay. They forget. Believe it, on defense, they fall too much. They've actually said that in our short chat. But the only other team I've seen is the CLS team with Chewbacca.
Mm.
And that team, word of the wise, do not AoE that team. The only one you AoE is the Scion. So they burn themselves to death. Because if you do that, they will butcher you. CLS will butcher you with Traya or Palpatine. I should have a Palpatine lead. You're just begging to get.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that? Are you running Trey? I'm assuming Bettz in Arena.
Oh yeah, Traya with Nest and Sith Trooper. A lot of people run the Thrawn Nest with the Triumvirate, but I find on defense Sith Trooper's a little bit better.
So that's like what I was saying is I want to get my Enfys to gear 12 so I can put my Thrawn mods on her on defense, because that's, I think, a little bit more effective on defense.
I disagree. I like my Thrawn team on, and I run the Triumphant with Traya lead with Palpatine and Thrawn, and my Thrawn's like 288, 290, something like that. And I don't mind facing a team with Enfys because like they do the thing. I'm like, okay, and my turn. I just start wrecking.
Right.
So if you know how to handle it, it's not hard to beat. Now Thrawn, on the other hand, that's the one where it's like,
Yeah, and Thrawn thrives much better under Palpatine than he does Traya, obviously. So
right. So
that's a great comp.
With Palpatine, yeah, Thrawn, but with a Traya lead, I think Sith Trooper and Enfys is.
They're all great teams.
Yeah, I think it's a little more tricky. It's a little more tricky, I think. Maybe not harder, but it's a little trickier. I don't know.
Yeah, I like only having, and it allows me to concentrate my speed sets to 4 characters instead of 5, because Sith Trooper, he has like 20 speed and he's still awesome.
You don't care about
yeah, exactly.
Really, you don't really care about it on Scion either. He's just there to tank. You can speed him up if you need to, but he's going to do his thing no matter what.
Oh, I love having a fast Scion. Are you kidding?
Well, I mean, mine's 220, but I care about my Thrawn and my Palpatine.
I've got my Scion at 260. I love putting a fast Scion. It almost guarantees that I don't. So on those teams that I fight that have, here's a good one, like a Lord Sith. Number one, I want to make sure that it's not his payout. I'm up kind of high in my arenas right now. I don't want to make sure that let's see, who is that again? Lord Sith? Yeah, okay, Lord Sith. I want to make sure that I'm not bumping somebody whose payout is in the next like 2-3 hours. Okay, yeah, I'm good. All right. So this squad that I'm gonna fight is Traya lead, pretty much the cookie cutter Traya team. Thrawn, Sith Trooper, Scion, Nihilus. It's the cookie cutter Traya team, and normally, I would probably have to, if you run a slow Scion, use your turn meter swap with Scion so that you can remove the taunt from Sith Trooper. But realistically, because my Scion is so fast, I can just go straight to Nihilus, do a force drain, and hope RNG is in my corner, and the very next character to go on my team is Scion. So it works out really well in my favor in that regard.
Yeah, that's such a pro tip, and I picked that up from one of Warrior's videos quite a while ago, that if you don't dispel the Sith Trooper taunt first, he's going to get isolated instead of Nihilus by the AI. So on defense, you're going to struggle. So if you don't do that, if you don't have a fast enough Scion, on defense, you're going to get shredded because they're going to you know, isolate Sith Trooper, which if you don't isolate Nihilus, you're going to lose.
Yep. That is 100% truth. Gosh dang. I wonder how does the AI isolate? Does Traya automatically go for the highest health? Okay. I figured that was the case because I see her isolate my Darth Nihilus almost every single dang time. And that's just a
the first AoE it's got plus 90% or whatever health, you know, automatically takes him to that tier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's... Whew, man. He just got so dang stinking tanky. Nihilus is a monster, man. He's just... There's no other way around it. He's just a freaking monster. Especially under Traya. It's just bonkers.
Yeah, it was the first time you appreciate critical avoidance is using a Traya lead. You don't realize just how amazing that is.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yes. That's one thing that a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like CLS, normally kind of struggles against a Traya lead more than it does an Emperor Palpatine lead, and I think one of the biggest reasons there is the crit avoidance is pretty intense. It's no joke. Traya, like, and so this is my other thing, you know, where a lot of people are like, you know, they're worried about how powerful Revan's going to be. If they make Revan so powerful that it absolutely just mops the floor with Traya, it's probably bad for the health of the game. Because power creep is a very real thing, and if they make Traya too powerful, or make Revan too powerful, then really what are people going to use to beat Revan? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the last time that happened was CLS, right? It was like CLS or bust.
God, it was. And you had to run CLS in
JTR, you had the Night Sister, so that was different.
Mm-hmm. Right. There was an equal, balanced counter to those teams, and I even ran one of the less popular counters during a lot of that entire meta was a Rex lead, and as soon as Wampa came to the game, oh man, I went cuckoo for Wampa puffs because I ran Rex lead with Wampa, Thrawn, General Kenobi, and Mother Talzin, and that was probably one of the most fun squads I've run in a very long time. Unfortunately, once Traya got more popular, it was a lot less effective, but yeah, I don't want to let this time out here real quick, so I want to try and finish this battle.
Let's put on auto, man.
Oh, I know I should.
Yeah, I think you got it in the bag, man.
Yeah, there we go. It was literally like click auto and 2 more abilities, and it was done. So yeah, I just got distracted there. Squirrel.
Distraction.
All right. Well, yeah, we're coming up on about a little over an hour and a half. So
yeah, it's been an hour 45 minutes. That's about where you usually go.
It's about average. So before I give our little outro and possibly cut off anybody's pitching their channels here, where can people find you, Bettz?
Yeah, just search Bettz Gaming, BETTZ Gaming. Pretty new channel, only have a few videos out there, but I'll try to keep you guys up to date. I kind of think I'm more akin to Metaverse and like Warrior. I'm pretty obsessed with staying competitive, so a lot of my videos are about that.
No, yeah.
You know, the next meta, territory wars, and all that stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, yeah, come check it out. I'd really appreciate it.
So where did you come up with your name, Bettz?
Childhood nickname.
So. Okay, fair enough. It's always fun hearing people's people's origin stories for the names. So I know I get a lot of
Yeah,
questions, and
because
I
of
had to make a
yours, I don't
video.
want to call you by your name. You know, I'm like, is that offensive? I don't know.
No, I actually I've I've been using it for like 16 years. I mean, especially like it's been my Xbox Live gamer tag for so long that like especially like Call of Duty, you know, people just call me Mist. So yeah, no, I
Nice.
I'm used to it. It actually I actually just kind of smile and chuckle inside when I'm playing Call of Duty and people are like Mist. I'm like, you said
They don't
Mist,
know.
right? It's so much fun. But yeah, I think I'm out of stuff to do. Yeah, no more
That's all right.
challenges.
Time to wrap it out there, homie.
I guess it is about time to wrap it up. I'm gonna go do some mod slicing, mat farming, and I don't know, man. And then obviously we have our pretty much weekly guest here, Ranger, the king of the rants.
Yes, I am. She can kiss my ass. I'm gonna be up their ass, dude. They pissed me off for the last time.
I got it.
You know, so yeah, but Reality Cube Gamers. You guys can look us up. Everybody here knows where we're at. So
everybody knows.
If you didn't see what I went off on CG yesterday, then please do, because you know I got to call it like it is. And for me, and this doesn't represent everybody's views on RSG. You know, we have differing viewpoints. But for me, I've drawn a line in the sand with this Revan crap. You know, so we'll see what happens. That's all I can do. But it's a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun on there. It's not just me yelling and screaming. We do lunch streams where we do roster reviews all the time. We answer tons of questions on the lunch stream and the Wednesday night stream as well. And then we also do the Jedi Academy on Saturdays, which is where we bring a lot of the game changers and YouTubers on there, like Remon, Warrior, Jedi, Dastra, T-Money, Good Old Maurice. You know, and it's basically a Q&A show where you guys can go in and ask those guys whatever you want about the game, and they're kind enough to be there to answer your questions. And then we do other stuff. Like tonight I did Battlefront 2, just some Uber pawnage on Battlefront 2. I'd invite Mist, but Mist has still not bought a controller.
You're all right.
He's that guy.
I'm that guy.
And then Sundays we do our D&D campaign, and then we do other games. Tuesdays nights, Finn always likes to play another game. He's doing a lot of Mega Man. The new Mega Man's out. He's doing that. They do Borderlands. What else were we doing? Oh, we've got the big marathon we're doing in April, where we will be we will be running a half marathon for charity to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So we've got goals on the 20th of October this weekend, but next weekend we will be having a mega stream like we did last time to raise money. We have a goal, we want to reach it, and so that we can get down there and run for a great charity and a great cause. I think that's everything. This has been your public service announcement from RSG.
Hey, well, I appreciate it. I'm happy to provide you guys another outlet, another mouthpiece for promoting the good things you do.
Yeah, I just like hanging out with you, Miss. That's really I just say
well, I mean, and you guys do a lot of good things. I mean, you guys raise a lot of money for charity. You did a very awesome suicide awareness charity fundraiser. What was it, like 3-4 months ago, 5 months ago? Yeah. I don't even know when that was.
We raised over 10,000 for the Americans prevention or the
suicide
American
prevention.
Suicide prevention. I couldn't say it.
Yeah. Very, very good things that you guys are doing for not just the Galaxy Heroes community, but for the gaming community, and then just your local communities as a whole. So very happy to be associated with you guys, and very happy to provide you guys with that extra, that outlet for providing awareness for those things that you guys do. So that said, obviously you guys all know where you can find me. Links are in the description. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm probably the most active on Twitter. Obviously, Instagram, it's in waves. When I remember to post to Instagram, I post to Instagram. Otherwise, I'm always on Twitter. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, honestly. If you tag me in a tweet, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, I'm going to respond. So it might be a sarcastic GIF, but it's, yeah, I'll respond. So that said, guys, like the stream, maybe? I don't know. Depends on how much you like my controversial opinions. Any rate, thanks for watching, guys, all of you. Greatly appreciate the outrageous generosity of those of you who have been donating to the stream. Deadpool Kyle, I'm looking at you, buddy. And my Patreon, current only Patreon subscriber right now, patron is Panamax. Very active on my Discord servers, so if you want to chat with my one Patreon, he's there. So that said, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and call the stream here. We're at almost 2 hours. It's at 1 minute or 1 hour and 50 minutes. Oh boy. So yeah, let's cut it here so that we can actually have something that's a little bit digestible for the folks that watch this tomorrow or later this week. So with that said, thank you again, and I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if I didn't have all you guys watching. So thank you. Catch you later.